Hey guys, want to show your support to the channel and get some awesome rewards at the same time? Then go check out my Patreon page where at whatever tier you choose that fits your budget, you'll get plenty of rewards such as updates and announcements on the regular, exclusive sneak peeks of my videos before they go up online, get yourself credited, and receive a special shout out at the end of my videos and more. Go to patreon.com/AckleyAttack44227TV to start pledging today. And don't forget to also check out and consider gifting me any items I have listed on my Amazon wishlist and even supporting me on my Streamlabs tipping page that'll also help support the channel directly. Links are in the description box below as well as on my link tree for you to check out. Thank you and enjoy today's video. Take care. Hey guys, like what we do on our channel and want to see more videos from us? Then not to worry about a thing. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as turning on the notification bell so that way you can see more of our videos coming up very soon. Thank you and enjoy today's video. Hey guys, this is AckleyAttack4427 here, and welcome to another episode of WTPU, aka What the Pickup? Now, as you may recall, in the last episode of the show, which you can see right down over here, I talked about the multi-accessory power supply that I got that is made by Bachmann trains, to which I find it to be absolutely incredible all the way. I never thought I'd see the day that Bachmann themselves would actually make this kind of power supply by far, but I will say it definitely turned out absolutely amazing for sure. I think it functioned quite well, and I guess pretty much of anything, it is a really great way to finally, and I mean finally, get my Bachmann Thomas windmill that I actually have for many years finally up and running for sure. And well, if you actually have seen the episode for yourself, you'll definitely know exactly what I'm talking about. So yeah, I was really impressed with, of course, how well this turned out by far, even if not a lot of people knew about this one for sure. But yeah, either way, it was well worth it nonetheless. I'm really glad that I got it. So yeah, if you want to check that episode out for yourself, then don't worry about a thing. There's a card over there, over at the top right corner of the screen, as well as, of course, the link to it down the description box below. So yeah, whichever you prefer, go right ahead. I'll wait till you come back. Yeah, take all the time you need. I'll be here by the time you come back after seeing the previous episode by far. So I mean, I think with it being well over 45 minutes plus in length, hopefully I think it'll give you something quite interesting to watch for sure. But I digress. You know, I guess pretty much looking back on this, I guess it was embarrassing that I actually filmed this video, pretty much filmed the last episode twice because, well, the first time I did it, I accidentally deleted the footage. But hey, second time actually turned out pretty good, and I was impressed with, of course, how well it turned out for sure. Even I think the joke I actually made incorporating Jim Carrey with his box from Batman Forever, that was actually quite hilarious. Yeah, I can definitely see people quoting pretty much that joke I made in the previous episode. Yeah, I present to you the box. It's a Kong! So yeah, might have took a whole lot from the Nostalgia Critics review on Batman Forever, but hey, at least I made the joke my own. by far, so. But hey, I guess it is what it is. Alright, I guess seeing how you did already see the last episode of this show, we might as well go ahead and start up this episode as we normally do. Now for today's episode, yeah, I guess it kind of looks like I seem to be on a Bachmann trains kind of streak for, of course, this season by far, but hey, I guess it is what it is, so yeah, I think you can definitely see where exactly I'm going for by far, so yeah, I guess it looks like for today's episode, we're sticking with, of course, Bachmann trains right now, but surprisingly enough, we actually got ourselves a brand new set of track pieces that we actually got very recently, to which I'm actually going to reveal right about now. So yeah, what you're seeing right here is, of course, a brand new set of Bachmann HO Hayes bumpers, as you can see here, with, of course, nickel silver, pretty much in the gray row bed with nickel silver rails. But surprisingly enough, compared to, of course, the other bits of Bachmann track that we got before, these ones actually have concrete ties in it as well. So yeah, same scale for, of course, track, but different kind this time around. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see how this will go for sure. But I'm getting way too ahead of myself. So yeah, with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about this. Alrighty then, well, now that we got the introduction out of the way, I think we can get ourselves in to officially talk about this one for sure. Now I guess it's no big surprise that when it comes to, of course, me and my relationship with model trains for sure, I guess it's no big surprise that ever since 2009, I've always been stuck with, of course, Bachmann trains for sure, especially since I first started collecting the Thomas and Friends range around that time, and you can definitely tell that for plenty of years since then, it's really growing and evolved, and I've been making constant changes to, of course, my layout very recently, particularly with, of course, the track for sure. And I guess, surprisingly enough, it is actually quite fitting because with not only the amount of miles that I've been gaining pretty much as Christmas presents once a year for sure, and that's mainly for the past several years from what I can gather, to which I know back then I always look forward to buying new models by far, but hopefully if I get some more money in, I think I might be able to go back to affording to buy some more models with a quick snap at my finger, just like that. So yeah, but particularly I've been making some changes and updates to my layout very recently with some of the new track that I've actually been gaining for sure, and of course, surprisingly enough, pretty much given to all that, that's where I actually think the Hayes bumpers that I got very recently will actually come into play. Now I actually made it very clear that in one episode that I did last year, I did actually talk about the Hayes bumpers before when going over the haul of course, some Bachmann track that I got at my local pretty much model train hobby supply laggards over in my area, to which it's actually a really great place, and I do recommend checking that one out for sure. So yeah, I pretty much gone over the Hayes bumpers, and of course my track haul episode that I did last year. So I highly recommend you check that one out for sure. Now, so I think it makes sense to finally talk about these again, but there is actually a good reason for that on why I decided to get this now. I guess it is no big surprise that when it comes to Bachmann track for sure, pretty much when it comes to Bachmann easy track, as they like to call it, it actually does follow in two different varieties in their HO department for sure, to which the first one being the black roll bed with steel rail, which is of course pretty much something that's been incorporated in every single Thomas seg by far. And of course, pretty much the track that I'm currently upgrading my layout on that was recommended by, of course, Leonard's Hobbyist Supplies owner Ed by far would definitely have to be the gray road bed with nickel silver rail, and yeah, I guess pretty much of anything, the latter of which is actually quite interesting because unlike the track that is black road bed with steel rail, the pretty much the track that is gray road bed with nickel silver rail actually lasts a whole lot longer, to which I honestly didn't know that, so I guess given to that thought alone, it does intrigue me in such a way for sure. So yeah, and right now I think I've actually been relying on, of course, the gray road bed with nickel silver rail pretty much as of now for sure, and so far I think I've got about 95% of course, all of that Sega track laid out in track 2, leaving the terminal re-railer for that only about with the black road bed with steel rail, while of course pretty much I think about half of course track 1 actually does have the gray road bed with nickel silver rail for sure. So yeah, but needless to say, I think I still got a long ways to go with, of course, some track upgrades for my layout, but with what I'm seeing so far, it actually is looking absolutely amazing for sure, and I can't wait to see everything all completed once I have everything I need. So, but yeah, that's mainly what I can say for the two different types of pretty much of a track for a Bachmann for sure. That was until very recently when a third one actually came in as of now. So yeah, I guess pretty much of anything, pretty much when it comes to these bumpers right here, yeah, they actually do follow in the HO scale for sure, but you may notice a little bit of a difference from what we can see by far. There's still the same kind of track that has gray road bed with nickel silver rail, but you start to notice the ties, of course, pretty much each and every single one of them is, of course, a different shade of color because, well, quite fitting enough, it actually does utilize on the fact that these are actually made with concrete ties for sure, or I guess in this case, made to resemble concrete ties for sure. Now, I guess it's actually quite surprising because pretty much, despite the fact that the two different pieces of Easy Track are completely different, they do have one thing in common, and that being, of course, pretty much of anything, the ties that help make the track what it is kind of has pretty much a black coloring for sure, almost made to pretty much made to look like the wooden pretty much ties that tracks actually are made to grip the rails together for sure. So yeah, I guess with this case for the concrete ties from what I can gather, I do think it is actually a welcome change for sure. So yeah, it's always quite interesting that pretty much Bachmann wants to try to do something experimental with, of course, the new set of track that they decide to do for sure, and I guess for the sake of these I actually got right here, it actually does show, and they're actually not that bad. So yeah, but you kind of get the idea of course, what I mean. So yeah. But either way, I do think it is actually a welcome change by far, and with what I got right here, doesn't look that bad to be honest. So yeah, I guess pretty much of anything, I'm sure you could judge for yourself, but I guess for pretty much everything, we might as well go ahead and go over this one bit by bit for sure. Alright, well, now that we got that out of the way, I think it makes sense to finally go ahead and dive ourselves into this now. I guess pretty much based on my first impressions alone, this actually, yeah, I guess pretty much it does play out exactly on what other bits of Bachmann Easy Track actually has provided for sure. It's pretty much the same kind of style of haze bumpers that Bachmann always provides for sure. And I guess pretty much of anything, I I do think is still actually quite nice based on my first impressions from the packaging. You can definitely tell they really did a fine job with, of course, the way it's actually packaged out for sure. Pretty much showcasing everything on the front with, of course, the bumpers adding in for sure, to which, yeah, much like the previous set of bumpers that we actually got before, this one right here actually can only hold about, oh, excuse me, can only hold about maybe, yeah, just about 2 haze bumpers per card for sure. So yeah, I guess pretty much of anything, I really do think it kind of makes sense if you actually buy one of these by far. So if you actually buy 1 pack of course, this, you'll be getting 2 that you might actually hook up for sure. So I guess it is pretty common for of course Bachmann to do that with, of course, each and every single bits of a track they would have provided, but as long as, of course, they actually can give you something quite interesting for sure, I think it might actually be quite nice. So yeah, and even on the back, for while not providing much, it actually pretty much the large sticker on the back does provide a bit of information from what I can gather with, of course, one detailed note saying these bumpers properly finish the ends of your track spurs. Now that actually does make sense because, well, you do need to, of course, pretty much have something to finish off your track because, well, without these, I think your trains might pretty much drive themselves off the rails for sure. So I think these are actually very important for sure. So yeah, either way, I really do think, based on what I'm seeing from the first impressions on the packaging, it actually is what I expect for, of course, some new pieces of track from Bachmann trains for sure. And I really do think they did a nice job with the packaging. And looking at the haze bumpers in them for sure, they actually do look nice, and again, pretty much the concrete ties that are actually adding in for sure. It's actually a welcome change from what I can gather. I always do like it when, of course, they wanted to bring something new and inventive for sure, and I really do think Bachmann really does showcase on what they had to offer with, of course, these for sure. Quite fitting enough price-wise because it only cost me about $20 to actually get those for sure, which is actually a really good deal, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, but either way, based on my first impressions from the packaging alone, it actually is what I expect, hands down. And again, with, of course, the concrete ties adding in, I do think it's actually a welcome change from what I can gather. So yeah, with that being said, now that we got that out of the way, let's get this thing opened up and get a closer look at those. All right. There we go. All right, got one out. And I think I can get the other one out. Ooh. And that one piece is trying to run away, so. Alright, so I guess pretty much from the looks of it, we finally got the haze bumpers out of their packaging for sure. And yeah, I guess pretty much for what it is, I think they do play out exactly like the previous haze bumpers that I actually talked about previously for sure. And why shouldn't I mention them for sure? Pretty much from the looks of them alone, they actually do look great from what I can gather for sure. I really do think from what I'm actually seeing, it really does, yeah, pretty much the way it's actually designed alga for sure. It does play out exactly pretty much what you would expect for sure. Showcasing pretty much right at the very end is, of course, the end of the line. But also, I think the pretty much this bumper right here attached to it actually is a good way to help stop the engines for sure, which I do think is actually quite nice because, well, I guess if anything, if you actually been to any railroad or railway for sure, whether it be here in America or, of course, in the United Kingdom or any other country in the world, of course they need to add a little something to pretty much add in bumpers or buffers or anything else you can pretty much call them for railroad terminology for sure, to actually stop engines from crashing or coming off the rails for sure. So yeah. And of course it actually does pretty much vary in such a way for sure, whether it be a little something for, of course, a nice engine shed, or a nice siding for the trains to relax for sure, or I guess to stop to let another train go by for sure. So yeah, it does play out exactly how they are, like I've previously talked about them before. But from what I'm seeing with the concrete ties adding in for sure, again, I'm not gonna lie, I do think it's actually not that bad for sure. Yeah, you can definitely tell it is, of course, they really want to, of course, showcase pretty much the best that they can with these ties for sure. And I really do like what they were actually going for, hands down. Yeah, pretty much the nice, pretty much a light gray coloring from what I've actually seen to really showcase that amount of detail from what I could gather. It's actually quite nice for sure. And don't get me wrong, the pretty much the ties and all the other Bachmann Easy Track are still good for sure, and it does resemble wooden ties that you see in almost every single tracking, of course, pretty much on any railroad or railway for sure, which is actually quite nice. But the concrete ties, I'm not gonna lie, is actually a pretty welcome change for sure. I guess pretty much of anything. I think you can definitely imagine that if you actually gag these for sure, I bet those will, of course, pretty much go great. Pretty much in any railroad yard that you can actually set up for sure. That actually has a pretty much having the floor or the ground pretty much be entirely made of concrete or plenty of other pieces of pavement or materials of pavement to really make the ground nice and hard for you to actually walk on for sure. And I'm pretty sure pretty much stuff like that has been used in plenty of buildings for sure, and sometimes even for, of course, roads and sidewalks, and that's just to name me a few. So I think the concrete ties for, of course, these haze bumpers, as you can see here, it's actually pretty welcoming, I'm not gonna lie, and I really do think it is actually pretty much a welcome change for sure. And I know that's saying a whole lot because, well, if you look up railroad concrete ties for sure, there might be some really good results of course, pretty much of course, these kinds of railroad ties that plenty of railroads or railways have actually used for sure. So I guess I give it to that front alone. I do think Bachmann actually did a really good job with those. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I really do think it is actually a very inviting and welcoming from what I can gather. And again, pretty much it is a good example of Bachmann trying to do something new, hands down, to which I have to say is actually very nice for sure. So yeah. So yeah, either way, I think with what I'm actually seeing, these two haze bumpers, as you can see here, are actually very nicely done for sure. And for while I think it couldn't actually top, of course, one the original two types of Bachmann Easy Track that we all know and love, hands down, I do think it's actually a welcome change, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, either way, I do think Bachmann actually did a nice job making those hands out, and I'm sure there's plenty of other pieces of Easy Track that Bachmann has made very recently in this kind of style for sure, but we'll definitely have to wait and see what happens. So yeah, but now that we got that out of the way, I think we might as well get these two set up, and of course my layout. But where exactly am I gonna put them? I know! cue the transition to the next scene to show you guys what I mean. Alright, well, here we are back, of course, on my Bachmann H.O. Thomas layout, as you can see here, and yeah, I guess pretty much of anything, pretty much given to, of course, what we've actually talked about. I think it's about time that we finally get these two Hayes bumpers officially hooked on for sure now. Now, I guess pretty much, if anything, I'm sure a lot of you guys may be wondering, I think, given to, of course, what you're seeing with this entire layout, I guess pretty much of anything, where exactly am I actually going to be placing these two bumpers, as you can see here? Well, surprisingly enough, that's one thing I should mention for sure. Now, if you may recall, pretty much back some time ago, pretty much a few episodes back, I actually did talk about, as you can pretty much once I zoom, yeah, there we go. Yeah, as you may recall, I think pretty much a few episodes back, I talked about the 9-inch straight re-railer track that I actually got some time ago for sure. And yeah, I guess it's no big surprise, I actually really enjoyed it for sure. And I guess given to, of course, pretty much the way I got them set up, I've, of course, got one set up right over by Maithwaite Station, as you can see here. While, of course, the other one, as you can see here, I pretty much got it set up right over by Timothy Sheds, as you can see from, of course, part of the side of the sheds where Henry is resting, and, of course, part of the turntable. And it is actually for a good reason from what I can gather for sure. I really do think this other piece, as you can see here, would be a really good spot for, of course, one of the Hayes bumpers that I would actually get for sure. Now, I guess it's actually no big surprise because, well, given to, of course, what I'm seeing with the turntable over at Timothy Shed, see here, I think it does show that there needs to be something in there so that way pretty much all the engines, Thomas, Percy, Edward, Gordon, James, Henry, and Emily won't fly off the track once they get out of the sheds for sure. But not to worry about a thing, these things, as you can see here, or I guess two of them from what I can gather, would definitely come into play for sure. And how? Now, I guess pretty much of anything, I actually did set up this 9-inch straight re-railer over here for sure, leaving it completely open out of the blue for sure. Yeah, mainly because I think it is a little something to actually give a little something to connect over behind pretty much for part of track 1 for sure. But I'm also thinking of course, pretty much getting my hands on the Bachmann Thomas engine shed that Bachmann has made a long time ago. That will, of course, be a good spot for another engine to reside in for sure, right next to Timothy Sheds. Yeah, you heard it right there, folks. I'm getting myself a Bachmann Thomas engine shed that's going to be placed right over here next to Timothy Sheds. Let that sink in from what I can gather. So yeah. But right now, I think it's probably a little something I'm currently working out on because, well, I hardly have enough money as we speak to, of course, afford one as of now. But I am working on it for sure. But for now, I think it makes sense to actually connect one of these right over here for sure. And I guess for the other one, as of now, well, surprisingly enough, I am going to leave this section right here completely opened up for sure because, well, I'm already thinking of course, getting a brand new terminal re-railer for sure alongside a speed controller, so that way I can actually attach it pretty much somewhere around over here to showcase a different siding for another engine to come by and rest in next to the shed. So if there's one train running over by track 1 that needs to go rest in between Timothy Sheds and this section of track right here, which will soon make way for, of course, the engine shed, then that will actually be perfectly fine. So yeah, but I'm getting way too ahead of myself for sure. So with that being said, I think we might as well go ahead and pretty much get yeah, there we go. Yeah, I think we might as well go ahead and get this hooked on for sure, and let's see how it works. So, or I guess in this case, how it actually looks. So, all right. So let's see here. Okay, and just to double check. Yeah, there we go. And yeah, I guess as you can see here, it looks like yeah, looks like finally got it attached on for sure, and yeah, look at that, yeah, it looks like the 9-inch re-railer finally has something to actually end the track on for sure. And I guess pretty much for this section in between, yeah, I think we might as well go ahead and get this attached on as well. So, alright, and let's see here, let's get this out first, and we're gonna slip this thing in, and to double check, yeah, I guess from the looks of it, yeah, honestly, it's not much from what I can gather, but this actually looks nice, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, I guess pretty much from what you can actually see from sure, yeah, for sure, I really I guess pretty much of anything, the two Hayes bumpers, as you can see here, really do tying everything with, of course, what goes on for part of the layout for sure. And yeah, I guess pretty much the way I'm zooming in and zooming out from what I can gather to showcase all that. Yeah, I know it is pretty much hard to bear in mind for sure, but trust me, I do have my reasons from what I can gather. So yeah, but either way, with of course what I'm seeing, these two actually really are quite nice for sure, and really help benefit, of course, what exactly I'm looking for, hands down. So yeah, either way, despite the fact that the pretty much are completely different from, of course, the track, pretty much hands down, I really do think it does blend in for sure. You can definitely tell that from the robe bag, it actually blends in perfectly with the coloring, with of course pretty much yeah, with the gray robe bag and everything. It's still the exact same style of track for sure, but actually does provide something new and creative at the same time. And that's something I really do think Bachmann Trains actually did a really nice job with, of course, some of the new set of track they actually got very recently. And that includes these Hayes bumpers, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, I think it's what I can say, of course, that front. So yeah, overall, I am really impressed with the brand new Bachmann HO Hayes bumpers with concrete ties that they have provided for sure. I really do think they did an incredible job with, of course, all those. And yeah, it's pretty much the exact same style as, of course, pretty much the Bachmann Easy Track with the gray robe bed with nickel silver rail. But I really do love for the fact that it wants to bring something new and inventive at the same time, but still want to make the easy track exactly what it is for sure. And I really do think they actually accomplished that for sure. So yeah, either way, I guess pretty much of anything, that's the one thing I really do think Bachmann Trains is really excelling at very recently. They want to stay true to, of course, their roots by far in doing what they do best. But at the same time, I am very welcoming of them to actually try to do something new and inventive with, of course, what it has to provide, hands down. And I really do think pretty much these new kinds of track are definitely something new and inventive for sure. And yeah, either way, I really do think they really did an impressive job on that. And And yeah, for what it is, I do think it's actually well worth the recommendation on my part for sure. So yeah, I guess anything. Yeah, if you actually got the time, I highly recommend you check out these Hayes bumpers, as you can see here for sure. Like I said, it only cost me about $20 plus tax in order to get those two. But I think they are actually well worth the purchase, in my opinion, hands down. $20 is actually a really good deal, I'm not gonna lie, and I'm really glad I actually got those hands down. And of course, give it to what I've actually said. I'll be really excited to see what else I'll get to complete everything I need for, of course, my layout for sure. Like I know, pretty much, like I said, I know I will get a Bachmann Thomas engine shed that will be placed somewhere around here for sure, alongside a terminal re-railer to complete this siding for sure, and maybe one small piece of pretty much straight track to, of course, make it a little longer, just in case I have like a bigger steam engine for sure, but we'll definitely have to wait and see. Let's not forget to mention, I'm hoping to, of course, pretty much get 3 pretty much green extension wires, so that way the track switches that you can see from back there, and from right in front of there, and all the way over there, to actually finally hook these up, so that way I can finally switch the tracks, pretty much using these switches for sure. But again, we'll have to wait and see, and of course, hopefully, maybe I think pretty much upgrade pretty much all of track 1 with, of course, the pretty much the curved track with gray road bed with nickel silver rail, and I might actually get 2 more terminal re-railers to replace these 2 right here for sure. And of course, maybe a few bits of accessories that I've been missing out on as part of the Thomas and Friends range that I've always wanted to get for a long time to really complete everything that I need for, of course, my layout and making it absolutely incredible, hands down. But we'll have to wait and see on that, and don't worry about a thing. I am still going to get new models as well for sure, because there's plenty of other Bachmann Thomas models that came out very recently that I've been missing out on for sure. So I do hope to get those as well, and of course, I've been looking into very possibly, getting my hands on some Heartbeat Thomas models that I missed out as well, that I hope to get for sure. But again, we're going to have to wait and see on the hang for sure. So, but regardless on that, I know the future is definitely going to look bright for, of course, my Bachmann Thomas HO layout, as you can see here. And oh yeah, let's not forget to mention, I do hope to also get some N scale stuff as well. Like, I do hope to not only get the narrow gauge engines that has been out for a long time, but I'm also wanting to explore the Thomas and Friends range in N scale as well, and see how it compares to the main HO lineup that we currently got for sure. But again, we're going to have to wait and see on that. But for now, I think with what I'm seeing, I guess the future of course, my layout, as you can see here, is definitely going to look bright. And of course, it's going to be a lot of hard work and money in order to get all the stuff that I need to complete my layout for sure. But I'm 100% confident that it will be guaranteed that it will definitely give me something to quote Ghostbusters 2, something good, something decent, something pure. And that's all that I have to say on that. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this latest episode of What the Pickup, and by all means, let me know down in the comments down below on what you thought of this episode for sure. I would definitely love to know. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Thank you guys so much for watching this latest episode, and yeah, hopefully I'll definitely dive into what I'll eventually talk about next for sure. maybe I guess give it to my ongoing streak. Maybe I guess another thing released by Bachmann Trains that I'm hoping to get to keep on going with my streak, or maybe something else. I don't know, but we'll definitely have to wait and see when the next episode comes around. But until then, thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next episode. Take care. Special thanks to all of my supporters on Patreon for making today's video possible, including my top tier supporters for this month, VD. So if you want to be like these guys and show your support to us, then go to patreon.com/AckleyTackTV to pledge now, do so, and get some awesome rewards within your budget. Hey guys, this is AckleyTack4427 here. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. Feel free to like, comment, and share if you enjoy what you're seeing. If you like what you see here and want to see more videos coming up, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button and switch on the notification bell to get notifications, and select all notifications to be notified for when we post a new video. And don't forget to switch on notifications on your phone as well. Also, don't forget to check out my second channel and our 2-member channel with Sam the Thomas Fan 1, SamAttack4427TheThomasFan1 Productions, for plenty more content you can't find on here. You can check both of our channels out with the links or by our handles provided on screen. Feel free to shoot me an email with my email address provided, backley95@hotmail.com, if you want to ask me a question, want to collab with me for a project you've got in the works, or if you want to book me to be featured for a convention coming up. Follow me on my social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to keep up to date with me on updates, announcements, and new releases of my videos, as well as plenty of others I've got with my handles provided, as well as the links down in the description box below. Also, don't forget to follow me on TikTok for other videos I've got aside from the ones I've posted on YouTube, and on Twitch for any future live streams I've got coming up soon, as well as join our official Discord server to see what we've provided. If you wish to show your support to me, then feel free to check out my Patreon to get sneak peeks of my videos coming up before they go up online, as well as getting access to updates and plenty more, in addition to getting some awesome rewards within your budget. Also, don't forget to check out and show your support to me on my wishlist on Amazon, and even supporting me at streamlabs.com/AckleyTackTV/tip that you can find in the description box below, as well as on my Twitch page. And in case you can't find any of the links that are provided, then not to worry about a thing. All the links and stuff are also provided on my link tree that you can also find in the description box below, as well as a few selected number of my social media pages. Other than that, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll be sure to see you in the next video. Take care.